to your, oh, I have all these on. Display properties, and then just hit flip. And then we got this kind of shape going. Cool. Thanks for showing up, everybody. Yep. Good to go. Let me go ahead. I'm going to kill ZBrush real quick. I've put it through the ringer here. If you want to do, so as far as like fast ZBrush concept iteration, if you go way back through my videos on my channel, we kind of did a bunch of concepting on the fly, and we kind of concepted out this like little policeman robot thing. Let me see if I still have him. Let me go to streaming, and he's kind of at stage 1, I think, if I remember. Smirky. Let's see, details, date modified. We got Smirky here. So this is where I would be at like stage 1, is just this kind of thing here, just kind of dialing in where I want my stuff to go. And if I want to go ahead and add a hand to him, I go like brush, insert, body parts here. And we can go ahead and just steal a hand here. And we can kind of start with this. So if we wanted to do like a robot hand design, we could certainly start from this point. Let's go ahead and scale this hand down just a bit here. And kind of do oversized hands. Now, if I want to Dynamesh this thing, I'm going to have to be careful because these fingers are close together. I'm going to go ahead and do split, unmask points here, alt tap this one, and then we go ahead and just do a close holes operation. Now, instead of Dynameshing this thing, what I can do is just hit Control D to subdivide and kind of keep it as a subdivision mesh until I get it to where I want, and then I can change to a higher resolution Dynamesh. Let's see, preferences, edit, line cursor to surface. Now, the other thing I might do if it's like robotic, like finger and hand design type thing, is, let's go ahead and thicken these up, is I might just kind of skip all these fingers. I can use them as placeholders here, but I can go ahead and let's do a delete lower. And I'm going to go through, hold down Control Shift. I'm going to grab the select lasso. And I'm just going to chop these fingers off in a very particular way. So I'm going to go through here and just kind of select these rings here. And now if I do an auto groups, it's under your polygroups menu. Now I've got these fingers. Now I can just have these out here as placeholder. Go ahead and split those off so I can just have them there. And then I can go ahead and just Dynamesh this thing together. So we just Dynamesh this. Let's go a little higher. There we go. So you have this Dynameshed, and then what I can do is these will be placeholder for just like the finger placement or the size if I wanted them to look like that. But then I can go through here. I can duplicate this off. We'll go ahead and just take this middle finger, for example, delete hidden, and then I can just go ahead and Dynamesh this one. And now what we can do is do our super fancy, like, okay, what do I want these things to be? So I'm going to crank the Z intensity up, turn my lazy radius off by hitting L, and then we can go in here with our clay brush or dynamic brush and kind of start doing like what we want this thing to look like through here. And again, just clay brush, and I can split this stuff off. I can start Z modeling. I can start doing live booleans, all that kind of stuff. But occasionally what I'll just end up doing is just kind of really quickly going through. Let's turn off X symmetry here and kind of just dialing in kind of the shape and ideas that I would want it to kind of look like. So if this knuckle's going to bend here, I'll kind of put a little knuckle bend in here. So maybe this will be a big knuckle that kind of rotates underneath, and then this one will kind of come through here. And maybe this will be, let's do clay buildup or clay tubes to kind of pass a line through here. And now this one is going to have to bend as well, so we can kind of tell that, okay, we'll bend here, and we'll do another one here, and that'll give us a little breathing room in between here. We can use clay buildup, and of course, crank your resolution up as needed. And now I'm just going to do one finger here. So we can kind of go through here and kind of like, okay, I want this edge to be pulled up. If you want to, you can use clay brush to kind of build up to those edges. And if you want to start doing hard surface stuff, you can go into your H polish and just start holding down Alt and just kind of start polishing this stuff down, or using trim dynamic in here. And if you did want to get a little fancy, you can go in here. I would just use a clay brush at this early stage, but you can also use like, let's go to our standard brush, clone this off. We'll go back to like a drag dot with this alpha, and then crank that up and focal shift down to -100. Now you can just kind of drop this stuff in, or you can use your new vector displacements, all that kind of stuff. You can also go to brush, insert multi-mesh boolean. If there's anything fancy in here, we got machine parts model toolkit. Let me see if we got anything in here. I still like to go down to this menu just because it's a little bit faster than dragging through up here, but your mileage may vary. If you want to have these consistent, just hold down Control and it'll drag out to your brush size. So you can go here, hold down Control, and put these on there. And if you want to, you can just Dynamesh those together real quick. Of course, my resolution sucks, so I can keep them separately as well. And I can also Dynamesh them separately as well. But anyway, I'm just going to Dynamesh those together for now. So now that I've got a finger kind of going with our H polish and clay polish and trim dynamic and all the little fancy things that you learn here, like so. And okay, so there's a finger. I can use these other fingers as placement, so now I can just take this one and just Control drag these over and scale them down. We'll go ahead and move this pivot up here, and we'll kind of scale this down there and rotate it around. And you can also just rotate these fingers, and however you like to do that, just use some screen space here. There we go. Get those dialed in and just make duplicates of the same finger. And then once that's done, I can probably, the rest of the hand, these finger placeholders here, I don't really need. You know what? Let's just go ahead and finish this hand out. Why not? So if I got this here, I'm going to go ahead and do auto groups here. We can go ahead and hit W, Control tap this polygroup, and then that'll just isolate that one. And now we can go through here and just really quickly kind of move this into place here and scale it down. Rotate it out so these things aren't penetrating, hopefully. And then again, Control drag here. We'll go ahead and again, the reason I kept those fingers originally is just for their placeholder, just so I know where I want to position these fingers later. So let's say that's the hand we want. We don't need those finger placeholders anymore. Wherever those are, let's see. We can just Alt tap them. So Alt tap. There we go. Don't need those anymore. So now we've got our fingers in place that we can use. And then of course you'd want to sculpt the hand up. This one is just a Dynamesh, so then you can go in here and go like, okay. And you can do it per knuckle. Oh, another thing you can do is you can sculpt out a knuckle and then use nanomesh planes to kind of duplicate these across as instances. That's a big kind of something fun you can do. But anyway, yeah, go ahead and sculpt all this out. Make it robots, just make it robots. And then all that kind of cool stuff. And then, oh, another cool thing, go to BC, brush chisel. You can go through here and you can just like cut in chisel lines. Now, of course, my resolution sucks, but if you do divide that up, you can kind of see nice clean chisel lines. Now, if you don't want that artifact and go on, you're going to want to do a morph target, store morph target, we'll store a new one. And now when I go across, it'll be nice and clean. And the other cool thing about this is it'll pick up where your last stroke is, because in ZBrush 4.8, you now have lazy snap. So you can go through here and it'll snap to your last stroke. Now, if you want these to match up exactly, you're going to want to go into your tablet pressure or use your mouse, crank that up, and now it'll be a nice even stroke, and then it'll snap. You don't even have to be that close. Like, see how I'll start like here and it'll snap to the end? That's that lazy snap radius that's in there now. And of course, we can just cross back over and get nice, clean chisel lines there. But anyway, that's how I would do something like that. And again, it's super quick, super fun. Let me go ahead and just do a quick mirror and weld on these things here. Get on both sides. Hit X symmetry. There we go. Yeah, so now we can just go through here. And now we've got like a robot I can get into game. Just paint some materials on here. He's got beep boop beep hands and little Tyrannosaurus feet. So that's the kind of quick concept and iteration that I would normally do.